Welcome to Inside the Other Dimension with Damon, Penny, and Ben Winfield. We take you further down the paranormal rabbit hole, looking deeper into strange happenings in the dark. We explore why the paranormal is such a mystery, and we package it all up for the truth. Odds. Sit back, relax, and get weird. Only on Inside the Other Dimension.
And the flaming ball of truth lets you know that we're live. Welcome to Inside the Other Dimension. It's that time again. It's your Friday night paranormal fix for all our Patreoners out there. And big shouts out to Wild Bill, our brand new Patreoner. I'm well happy he's involved. We got him coming on the show soon, definitely.
Getting him on properly. Me and him chat hours. I'm
just gonna be sitting there like that. Right, right, okay, I'm just gonna go and get a pen and paper.
Just to let everyone know, I may look like I'm absolutely dead. I pretty much am. It's been a long ass week.
Oh, mate, tell me about it.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
I need all the love and light to bring me back to life.
Do you know what, right? This is God's honest truth, right? And we can say this because we're backstage. This week, because I work in a crew, right? We have a driver and two loaders. I'm one of the driver. Both of them got COVID on our hardest week. Me, I've been negative all week. What the hell? I'm like COVID impenetrable. It will not get me. Omicron, what? Really? No such thing.
Nice.
I don't know if I've got antibodies or I don't know. It's just a crazy one. I can't work out. It's so
possession. It's possession. Yeah. Demons can't get COVID.
I'm protected by the 72 and the key of Solomon. I've got the ring of destiny. Yeah. So, warm up for Ouija. Now, for everybody that's locked on the Patreon, if you're watching this back or if you're watching us live now, we've got Sarah Penny on from Truths Collective on the second half of the show. We're going to be talking about Ouija origins, how to use them. We've got some really cool cases that I want to bring up as well. So there's loads going on, but this is the warm up for it. So this is where you get me and Ben talking serious shiznies and what we actually think about Ouija. Now, to start off, because you Patreoners, you get the exclusive, I've got a bugging question in my head about Ouija, and it really, really bugs me, is why are they always in English?
Ouija boards?
Yeah, they're always in English.
You see, this is where I'm going to shoot in the foot, because I've seen ones in different languages.
Yeah, but you've got a habit of doing that. You've got a habit of making me look like a fool.
I've seen a Ouija board in Sumerian before, and I've seen it work, and I've seen people working on it, and I've seen them having to run for 1,000 books to try and figure out what they're actually saying. Yeah.
Joe, the crazy thing is, I found out because I've obviously I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some research into this because it's always something that's been bugging me about Ouija and stuff like that. So I researched into it. Do you know they're not actually called Ouija boards?
No, it's called spirit boards, isn't it? So.
They're called talking boards.
Yeah.
And the only reason we call them Ouija nowadays is because of the brand. It's the same as Coca-Cola is actually it's a soda, isn't it? Or you know, Kleenex. We call someone goes, "I'll pass me a Kleenex." You know, you don't. It's the brand Kleenex. You normally go, "Pass me a tissue."
What? It's exactly the same with. I was trying to use an example, but I can't. But sellotape. It's a brand.
Yeah.
Sellotape's a brand. It's not the actual name of it. It's actually called sticky tape or Scotch tape.
Yeah. That's what it is, and we just call it sellotape because that was the brand that first made it. It's the same with Ouija. See, people think that Hasbro brought out the original Ouija. It wasn't. It was. Yeah.
It's centuries. It's different names.
They've dated the first ever Ouija back to like 200 years before Jesus was even born. If you go on a Judeo-Christian calendar, And it wasn't actually a board. What they done is they drew symbols on the floor, and they used a table as the planchette, and the table would move to the symbols depending on the question and the answer.
Yeah, well, you look at the old Chinese ones that were done with water and sand, same as the ones in the desert.
Yeah.
You'd put a water bowl in the middle with a small outlet for it. Draw the symbols on the floor running off, because obviously if you ever look at Sanskrit and Chinese, desert languages, they all run with one line. And whichever way the water would flow into them would give you that sort of communication.
Yeah, and Joe, I also found out there's a different type of Ouija board. Have you ever heard of a pressure board?
Is that one that tilts rather than has the central piece in it?
Well, do you know like a set of scales? Joe, like you have a set of scales, and Joe, like us men, we have this thing with a set of scales. We don't actually use them for weighing things. We test our strength. We grab it and see how far we can push down. You know what I mean? We go 46 kilos. What a legend! Do you know what I mean?
I must be the only bloke that actually uses the scale properly.
I think you must be. That's your feminine side coming out. That one.
Not using the scale properly.
I sit on the toilet and I squeeze that scale and I'm like 76 stone. I've gained muscle.
The girls are sat here eating ice cream and you're talking about that.
But squeezing scales, every man is a man thing. You have to. There's. I know it's going off topic, but there's 3 things you have to do as a man. Right. Number 1 is squeeze scales. You have to squeeze scales. They're not for weighing yourself. You squeeze them, see how strong you are. That's number 1. Number 2 is see how far you can get a cotton bud down your ear without actually bursting your eardrum. That is definitely a man thing.
I tried that and I ended up with ear infection for 2 years. Don't try it.
And number 3, the most manly thing you can do, right, yeah, is try and fix the car when you have no idea what's wrong with it in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, a pressure board is the same as scales. And what they used to do is they would place their fingers on top of the scale, and instead of having like numbers 1 to like 30, it would have A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way up to Z, and then yes and no at the end. And the spirits would push the pressure board down and allocate which one. It never caught on for obvious reasons.
I can see how you do it. Obviously, with central piece in the middle with an arrow, and then have A to Z across the top, and then use the weight to move it in and out. But it's a lot of, even effort. Quantum mechanic wise, that would take a lot of energy just to push down to get like a Z or an A. No, I'm going to skin you alive.
You're about to see something you've never seen before. A live sacrifice. Oh, look, he just wants some attention.
The little demon pup.
Oh, poor little thing. Crazy. I come across something as well. I don't know if you've heard this, because you're Mr. Science, right? So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna attack Mr. Science with science itself, right? Have you heard anything called? Hold on, I've written it down so I don't get it wrong. Idiomotor effect.
Yeah. Even Lou's heard of that. So go on, Lou.
The idiomotor effect, where you subconsciously do things like with the Ouija board, you can subconsciously have that. If you hold the pendulum, it can be your fingers, you can subconsciously move it.
Did you hear that?
No.
I'm eating it on screen. Leave it alone.
It's to do with subconscious movement, as Lou said. Your body subconsciously moves everything. However, there is techniques where you can train your subconscious to actually do that sort of thing without anyone knowing. I'm going to skin this dog.
No, do you know what? Honestly, in all seriousness, I got into this idiomotor effect, and they're actually using the science behind it to treat Alzheimer's. I didn't even know that.
It's an ability to train your subconscious. A lot of fighters do it. They train their subconscious so their natural reaction fires off. if a block's coming in, instead of thinking about blocking it, then just naturally block it.
Ah, right, yeah. So almost like muscle memory, almost training muscle memory, but with your brain.
Muscle memory is your best explanation with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be doing to fire. You can use it to also fire your electricity field in your body.
Oh, okay.
Yourself up.
Because Boston University have studied Ouija itself, and they believe that down to this idiomotor thingy that I said, I can't remember the name of it. They were actually explaining that it is 60% of the time it's the subconscious. They used an example of a woman in America who believed that her 77-year-old husband was cheating on her, but it was her and she was asking the Ouija board, and the Ouija board confirmed it. So they said it was their subconscious that confirmed it. She buried an axe in his head.
Yeah. I have read the Boston report on that. I got to read all the case and that one when I was studying.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's really, really interesting the way that they sort of explain it, because what they're saying is they can train the subconscious of an Alzheimer's patient to be able to override the conscious mind, because the subconscious picks up on smaller, minute details and stores them for a longer period of time. Say like the subconscious is your removable hard drive, whereas your conscious is your normal hard drive in your computer. You know what I mean? That can only store so much, and you have to get rid of the old to put the new in, whereas the subconscious can store things over a longer period of time.
Yeah. It's a nice idea with it all.
Do you believe it, though?
I do and I don't. The ideology that I've come across is that your subconscious, yes, it can be trained, but you can also hypnotize your subconscious, which we all know people have been done. When we go on conspiracy theories, look at your Manchurian Candidate, stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, my theory, which has come across over the years, is that a spirit will lock on to your subconscious, whispering in your ear, in a sense, making your subconscious reply to that. That's why sometimes you can have Ouija boards where you come in with information that no one in the room knows. Yeah. Or there's one person in the room that knows it, and they are completely oblivious, sat in a corner, not even touching or not even mentioned it to anyone.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I do believe it's like a 50-50 split. I come across a lot of stuff, right? It's not true, but it's not false when it comes to Ouija, i.e. the fact of Ouija just means yes in French and German, or French and Egyptian. It's never been confirmed. The only confirmed case of the reason why they're called Ouija boards is there was a famous medium that was attached to the Ouija company who made the original Ouija boards. Her name was something Ellen. And supposedly she'd done a Ouija board with the first one they made, and they asked what they should call the game, because they had a name beforehand.
Oh, sorry.
And the board confirmed that it wanted to be called Ouija. So, but it's all the names for it have never been proven. The other thing that I find really hard to prove, and this is something that we should definitely talk about on the Patreon, is do we link Ouija to demonic activity? Is it the number one thing that creates demonic activity?
Everyone links it to, but here's something that you probably didn't know as well. How many cases of possession have come from Ouija boards?
I read this, and I think there's 4 in existence, and one of them is actual one of the greatest cases of possession, because it's the actual one where the film The Exorcist was based on. The little girl.
Know what the real number is?
I have no idea.
0.
Really?
There has never, ever, ever, ever been a documented link between a possession and a Ouija board.
No, and this is the point. This is the thing that raised in my head when I was reading over these 4 cases that were supposed to be. Now, we know with demonic possession, there has to be this. You have the 4 stages. You know, the infestation, the oppression, possession, and manifestation. Now,
got you on some 4 stages.
Yeah, I'm with the 4 stages now. I do believe in the 4 stage, only because of a lot of the cases that I've got into. there always seems to be that manifestation when the demon's leaving. So it has to be. There can't be. I just think it's a forgotten stage of demonic possession. I do believe it's a forgotten stage because the people are so relieved. Yeah, they're so relieved that it's over. They're just like, you know what, forget that one. But you can class Ouija in itself as an infestation period, or you could class it itself as an oppression stage period. But actual possession is when the body and the mind and the soul is broken down to the point when the demon can then access. And I don't think you can link Ouija directly to that. I think it's a part of a demonic possession, but I don't think it's the reason of demonic possession.
Yeah, the problem is over the years people have got it mixed up with like possessions through rings and jewelry and stuff like that. They've got that mixed with Ouija boards. Now, the basic premise of a Ouija board is made out of either plastic or wood. Wood will only hold stone tape theory. It won't hold a possession. It won't hold any demonic or anything like that.
No.
It doesn't have the ability to transfer the energy that sort of way. Same with plastic. Plastic does not transfer energy at all.
Well, plastic is completely man-made, isn't it? It's not natural in any sense, way, shape, or form. So
yeah, I've had people come up to me before and say that their doll is possessed. They've got a possessed doll, and it's made out of plastic. No, you can't have a possessed doll made out of plastic.
100%.
What's known as porcelain. Porcelain, yes. Wool material like the original Annabelle, yes.
Yeah.
Plastic, no. Barbie's not possessed, I'm afraid to tell you.
No, the only thing Barbie's got inside her is Ken. So. Oh, I'm sorry, Evie. I'm so sorry. I apologize. We're backstage. We're backstage. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I agree with you, especially on that, especially with the whole plastic thing. What you got to understand is you're dealing with something that's very natural. You know, natural energy, natural spirits. You know, elementals are natural. Demons are natural. They're not going to possess something that's man-made, especially plastic and things like that. And not only that, the one thing that I've taken from the Warrens more than anything else, because with the Warren stuff, they've done so much great stuff. I'm not going to sit there and bitch and moan about them. They've done some amazing stuff for the paranormal world. Now, as much as I have my gripes and my problems with what they've done, they made moves to the paranormal world.
No disrespect to the man that's dead, but they were basically the Derek Aurora and like most haunted of the paranormal. So,
yeah, they were, and but they made. But the one thing I will always take from them, and something that Ed Warren quoted, he said, "Demons do not possess objects; they possess people," and that has always stuck with me from day dot.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that because obviously I know of certain objects that can be attached to them, but yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. It could be attached, it can be contained in an object, but it cannot possess an object. You know, the idea of possession is being able to own something, to control it. That's the idea of possession. That's possessed by the missus. I've got the same problem. I just got a new fridge as well. Like, it's crazy.
So that I think my wallet's getting possessed tonight because me and Lou are actually going out on a night out, guys.
Oh, are you really? Enjoy yourself.
First time in 2 years. We're both no paranormal, nothing.
Do you know what? The last time I took the missus out, I took her down to London to London Dungeons, and it was the most memorable day because my missus got accused of being a witch. And then when we went into the next room, they threatened to put a torture pair up my ass. So it was a good day out. It was a good day out. I just hope your date goes a bit better.
Should be. We'll have to wire my sister up in a minute, though, if she's online because it's her birthday.
Oh, is it really? Is Emma's birthday?
On the 9th.
Ooh. She sent me that picture over that she drew of me when I was live. It's good, man. It's good. It's good. I might have to get some tips off her because the drawing's going well at the moment. Did you see my Aries one?
Yeah, you've done good, man.
I like that. Yeah, I like. Oh yeah. By the way, as well, loving the new style of slates that you're doing. The whole Viking thing, I really like it. It's better than the Moomins and Rupert the Bear and all that lot. I'm liking the Viking style at the moment. I really am.
I mean, proper exclusive Patreon fans. If any of you guys want some of the Viking stuff, I'll give you guys at least half price.
Oh, look at that. See what I mean? See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. The Patrons get it all, man.
I will make custom designs for the Patreon people. If
I've had
this
a lot of people
one
ask,
doesn't stop biting my bloody fingers.
oh, look at him. He's so tiny. What's his name? Her name?
She's Nala.
Nala.
Oh, she's got a little full belly, look, coming to you.
Little podge belly. She's just a little
Oh, poor
demon
down.
hunter.
She looks like baby deer.
She might as well be. She's about the size of a rabbit. She's a mini Jack Russell. So.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like, when getting back to Ouija and that as well, like, I tried to find out. Now, this is something that's another thing that's always interested me about it. And I don't know whether it's something that's bigged up by Hollywood once again, because you've got Ouija 1, Ouija 2, Ouija 3. You've got everyone uses a Ouija board. Do you know what I mean? Seances and that. Do you know the fallacy that if you look through the glass of the planchette, you can see the spirit you're contacting? I have not come across any true story of that whatsoever.
Well, I've been dealing with obviously the occult for a very, very long time. I have tried this multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I've even used some demonics and said, look, this is how it is.
Uh-huh.
Don't work at all in any way, shape, or form.
Can you imagine, right? You pick up a planchette, right? And you get like one of your guys to stand by the door and like, I'm going to look through this. I'm going to see you and tell me if you're there or not. You turn around and you look through it. He's doing like some sort of helicopter or something. You'd be yourself laughing. It would be great. It's just got this horned creature like thrusting. It'll be hilarious. Oh God.
But yeah,
I've got
never known them exist whatsoever. It's the same.
I mean, how many Ouijas you done in your lifetime?
I dread to think.
I've definitely done over 200. I've definitely done over 200 Ouijas, and I'm still here. I'm not possessed.
If I think about it, every time I've been on a board and used boards for research, it's got to be getting into about 2,000, 3,000.
Crazy, isn't it? And yet you have these people out there, and you say to them, "Oh, do you want to do a board on an investigation?" Like, no, that'll be possessed. I'll be followed home. I'll have an attachment, and all this sort of thing. And you think to yourself, like, do you not realise just doing a bog standard EVP or even doing a set of dowsing rods is exactly the same as doing a spirit board?
Yeah. Well, someone will Someone will explain that when they start doing their divination videos.
Oh yeah.
Project on that you're sat on at the moment.
Coming in. Don't forget, guys, we've got new divination videos coming in 2036 from Louise.
Yeah, I was doing another project and I decided that, and then the book came, and then everything just went out the window.
I get like that. I get like that. I'm literally like, right, I'll put my book down. I'm going to read that when I get in bed tonight. I literally get into bed and I fall asleep. I don't even move the front cover. I'm like so knackered. I'm like, no.
I've been trying to read a book for the past 8 years.
Do you know what I got for Christmas?
I have not finished that one. And The Hungry Caterpillar. I have yet to finish that.
What, The Hungry Cat?
Yeah.
Mate, Joe, all right. My mum brought me Unveiling Isis by Helena Blavatsky, and I've read the front page so far.
Can we just explain that this is a cultology book? We are no way in relation at all to ISIS themselves.
Yeah. It's nothing to do with that. It's all to do with ISIS is the Hindu god, isn't it? It's something to do with Hinduism. She was heavily Hindu.
ISIS is Egyptian.
That's it. She was heavily influenced by Egyptian and Hindu. She sort of like combined them together because she tried to do that with the whole Watanism movement in the late 1900s, early 1900s in Germany. It was like a a combination of Egyptian Hinduism and then this sort of Aryan sort of inlining with it all as well.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So anyone that wants to get into occultology and demonology and that, like you need to understand, you'll probably spend 90% of your time confused, and the other 10% you'll be going, oh right. Then what you do is you'll go on radio and you'll explain what you've learned, and Ben will just blow the crap out of it out of the water because he's got some other angle that he's got to go with.
Well, it's not like that. Just to like give everyone a bit of history of like the stuff I've done before. I have sat in lectures before of people that have been like leading experts in cultology, have been quoting like research papers and stuff. And then I've sat there before in a hall of about 150 people and vocally started laughing at the back of the hall, like really mad. Now, this one bloke I did it to, who was quoting the research paper, turned around to me and said, "You have no idea what you're talking about. I have a clue of any of this, what's going on. And I find your lack of disrespect for this troubling." To which point I turned around and went, "You know the paper you read and look at who wrote it?" Turns out it was one of my papers.
This is the funny thing about it. Like intellectuals, they make me laugh. When you actually pull them up on something, they don't like it, do they? They take offense to it, don't they?
Yeah. Talking about this was a paper talking about the connection between Zoe and Ouija boards and the history of it all, and I was just laughing because part of it was talking about. I was saying you've completely misunderstood what the person doing the research here is telling you the point of.
Yeah. No, it's true.
The whole spiel of you know nothing, or it's like you see, walk down right in front of these people and like, you see the name on that? Yeah. Here's my ID card. What does that name say?
I know what, I was on a forum the other day and they were having this argument about Zozo and connection to the Ouija. And one of the guys in there, I can't remember his name. I think he was called False for Evil on this forum. His name was False for Evil, and he made an extremely great point because everyone was saying Zozo only comes through the Ouija board, and he went, right, if you honestly believe that Zoe is demonic and of a higher ranking, do you honestly think he would limit himself to only contacting you through a board? Do you know what I mean? And it does make complete sense. You know, you're talking about a being that's higher in knowledge, higher in intelligence, higher in spiritual energy. He would not limit himself to contact through something that's made of wood or plastic.
Yeah. Well, it's like I wind people up a lot nowadays because I've got me a bit more vocal with the Zozo stuff. When a lot of people that have been saying recently were Kamazots and linking him to this bat god in the Mayan and all that. The research paper that was done at the time doesn't mention him at all being this. Same as I was talking about when we was doing the predictions, you know, for the Mayan.
Yeah.
That you had one wall with one thing on and another wall with nothing, with something else on.
Yeah.
Kama is down one side and Zots was down the other. Now Zots is bats and Kama is death.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, if you read different walls, it tells different stories. It's not like hieroglyphics where they wrote in one scripture going around the wall.
Well, if you, like I've always said to people, Kamazots is a completely different god to Zozo. Zozo is Zots, which is Z-O-T-Z. It's a completely different South American deity.
Yeah.
This is why I always find it funny recently. I'm just like, here you go, here's the explanation. Oh yeah, like you say, oh yeah, and it comes through Ouija boards. No, he doesn't.
No.
He uses them. We've got documented evidence of him using them for conversations and winding people up.
Yeah.
But it's no different than someone giving you a prank call on a phone while they're stood in the corner of the room.
Yeah, and it's impossible to do heavy breathing for a Ouija board, so...
Yeah.
I mean,
you-
yeah, it does. It does make sense. It does make sense, you know. And it's always you type in Ouija in Google or you type it in DuckDuckGo, because for everybody out there, I'm going to give you Patreons a heads up. Google is very fixed on its search relations. If you want a true search engine to do your research on, use DuckDuckGo. It's the best one out there.
or onion, and go deep into the dark web.
Oh god, down that rabbit hole. I'm peeling the layers of the onions. Joe, ogres are like onions.
Oh God.
I got Friday, man. I had to. It was like presenting there. I couldn't take it. But yeah, right. So if you type in Ouija into Google or DuckDuckGo or Onion, Bunyan, whatever, you always get a story of Zozo. It's constant. It's all the time, and it's just this linkage. And I blame the normies, and I know I've had about 8 messages of people going, "How dare you call me a normie? You are a normie." Because what you do is you read the paper and you read all these people that write stuff up on Facebook of all these like paranormal things happening, villages that disappear like throughout the year and only show up once a year, or death mass, or the thing about what's his name's head being moved from pillar to post. You read these things. Oliver Cromwell.
That's the one. Yeah.
You read these things and you just take the narrative that's been presented to you. You don't sit there and ask questions why or how or what was the reason behind that.
Yeah, you just accept the facts as you accept the facts as you're being told.
Yeah, you don't question.
The same with, let's just say, a few things that I know of, including a certain doll. Do you really think people would leave a doll, that attachment, in a wooden box in a small museum for people to just go up and touch?
No. See, this is what I mean. Reading the narrative, believe in the narrative. Watching the Hollywood movie, believe in the narrative of Hollywood movie. Even the same with Ouija. This is the reason why I'm talking about this, because it is a prime example of people believe in the narrative. Yeah. You'll ask someone to go on a Ouija board and they'll go, no, because I'll be possessed. That is you believing the narrative out there. Like Ben's done over 2,000. I've done over 200. I've never had an attachment, never been possessed. Don't get me wrong. It can be dangerous using a spirit board, a talking board, a Ouija board. But it's the same with everything. Crossing the road can be dangerous, but you use your green cross code. It's the same with the Ouija board. As long as you do things properly and you do them the right way, it's safe. You know, but the narrative is that they're dangerous. The narrative, any spirit communication is dangerous. Like, guys, if you want to actually read something that's really, really cool, blow your mind, I'll go on Google or Onion or DuckDuckGo and type in possession through EVP, right? And there's a woman in America that actually got demonically possessed, and all she was doing EVP sessions. She never done a Ouija board in her life. She never touched any dowsing rods. All she was doing was EVPs, and she became possessed through EVPs.
You can just imagine that, can't you? The possession. How do you know I'm possessed? I keep hearing this voice asking me if I want to extend my warranty.
It's asked me how much my life insurance was valued at.
Spirit, talk to us. Hello, I believe you've been involved in a recent car accident.
You say 10% on your car insurance. No, Joe, what? It's crazy.
One thing you never get through a Ouija board, do you? Over thousands of years, you never get a salesman on a Ouija board.
Or an advert. Can you imagine, like, you're talking to someone, they're like, where did you die? Oh, I died 30 years ago. Hold on a minute, there's a message coming through. 20% off at DFS? What is going on here?
You just know that's not going to happen until, you know, if any of the patrons remember a bloke called Barry Scott does Sillet Bang adverts.
Oh, yeah.
When I don't know if he's dead or not. I don't want to sound really harsh or anything, but you imagine when he dies, anyone that goes on a Ouija board is just going to be, Hi, I'm Barry Scott, and this is Sillick Bang Afterlife. Are them possessions getting you down? Well, with this Sillick Bang, you can blast away the possession.
Bang, and the possession's gone. It would work. It would work. It would
Got
work.
Sage Rage? Use this.
Yeah. Are you suffering from Sage Rage Rampage? Well, we've got the thing for you. Silly bang, and the sage is gone. It would work, man. Definitely, definitely. That's the thing that, like you say, you don't get salesmen and people like. It's always see now looking at these statistics, because there is a really sad person out there, and I feel really sorry for him because he goes online, he's got a forum, he's got a blog spot, and he counts possessions and he does all these statistics for it because I don't know, Coronation Street's only on once a week over there or something. I don't know. I'm not taking the mickey, but I couldn't do it. And he reckons that 74.6%, because I've got written down here, 74.6% of possession of Ouija communications are children under the age of 16 that are coming through. I find that weird. I find that. But now let's look at this scenario now. Now, this is where I'm going to blow the listener's mind. Ouija board was made as a board game for children over the age of 3.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, and just to throw it out there as well for the listen.
Is it?
It's not his actual name.
Jesus Christ.
What's that?
I've been living a lie.
What? Why?
Barry Scott's name isn't actually Barry Scott.
No.
That's his stage name. That's his stage name.
I bet he's got a really, really boring name like Graham or something.
Neil Burgess.
Neil Burgess.
Oh, could have been
I'm
Neil
done.
Down or something.
That's it. Cultology over. The greatest question ever asked. It's just.
No, that's it. Ruined my childhood.
That's it. The other dimension's over. We've got our answer.
Yeah. All we need now, right? So now we know Barry Scott wasn't his real name. All we need now is DFS not to do a sale for the whole year, and that would literally destroy the world. It would implode on itself. The flat Earth would roll over.
Like a coin.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, like, with the Ouija, it's a board game, and this is a true story. There is, I can't remember the year. I think it was either 1917 or 1927. I know it was 19-something-7. Ouija actually outsell Monopoly throughout the whole year.
I think that was 27. I think.
Yeah. It was like 17 or 27, one of the two. It did outsell Monopoly, but the guy that actually created the Ouija company, his name was Tom Cannard. Yeah, he actually developed. Get this. This one made me laugh. He actually developed the Ouija board as a romantic night in to use on dates. Can you imagine that one? See, now to me and my missus, and to you and your missus, that is a romantic night in. You know what I mean? You go, babe, look, I've got a nice little bit of Prosecco. Nice little bit of beer, Ouija board, spirit candles, let's go. But any other woman, that'd freak them the hell out. It's a true story.
Oh, 1960s from our PA.
Well, it's about time she done some bloody work. I'm paying her overtime for this.
It's our part. Look, she sat down here currently. If I can even turn the camera, she sits down here, bless her, on her phone, checking all information. I've just got a lovely reminder on my laptop telling me I'm on the other dimension. 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
And
we
I
have to have 15 minutes to set up for the main show.
just try and look somewhat alive.
But for all the Patreoners out there, don't forget next week we have the exclusive. You guys have got the bomb on it because I'm not gonna mention it to the end of the next show. We have Karen Frey on the show next week, and we are having the exclusive interview for the Festival of the Unexplained, one of the biggest paranormal festivals in the country. Me and Ben will be interviewing Karen about that. Some of the amazing guests.
Lou wants to don't forget discounted tickets.
Yeah, instead of 55, I think she's doing them for 54.99.
Yeah.
So they are a discount. But yeah, I mean, we've got the exclusive. Don't forget to follow us over if you guys are locked in on Patreon. Follow us over 7 o'clock. We'll be starting the Ouija show. We have our special guest Sarah Penny on tonight from Truths Collected, talking about Ouija, how to use them properly, and bits and bobs like that. Yeah, I mean, it's good chat tonight, man. I really enjoyed this one tonight. We got deep, but not too deep. Not to the point, you know, when you like carrot and stick and boss-eyed sort of thing. We got deep, but not that deep. Do you know what I'm saying?
Can easily be done. You just
Yeah, I know. You like destroyed me at times. I've literally like sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning going, I fucking hate him. I really hate him because I've been reading through pages and pages of internet stuff. I'm like, if the feds get hold of my browser history right now, I'm screwed. Seriously screwed.
see. It's like one of them old like 20 things where you just like you come in all happy and lively like a housewife, but then you just lay this information in front of me, and I basically just throw you on the table, finish you, and walk off with a pack.
Yeah, and then throw the ash on me.
Yeah,
Like, you
just chuck it on your head and walk off.
I just hope you Patreoners ain't picturing that in your head right now. Oh, crazy. But yeah, guys, thank you for locking in. Big shouts out to Wild Bill, our new Patreoner. Great to have you on board. Shouts out to Helen Lang. Shouts out to Christian Green. Out to Kathy. Out to Vonnie. Yeah, out to all you Patreoners. Honestly, you guys, you're keeping the lights going. Really enjoying doing this. Got some really great guests coming on this year. I've got confirmation from Charleston. He's coming on, definitely. Just waiting for
when he gets chance. I've been talking to him the past couple of days, bless him.
Yeah, man, poor guy is bogged down by COVID so bad. Like, all of his staff are off. It's crazy. Also got confirmation from Andy McGrillen, the UFO guy who runs his own UFO podcast. He'll be coming on to. I'll tell you something now. One person that might actually fry Ben's brain. I'm telling you now, the guy is unbelievable when it comes to UFO stuff. Unbelievable. Spoke to Bob as well. We've got Bob coming on to talk about more of the cryptids and the zoology side of things. Nice. Getting into sort of the whole Native American stuff. I want to sort of reach out to our friends across the pond and talk about some Native American sort of stuff and that. So yeah, we got some really big guests lined up this year. 2022 is the Other Dimensions year. We are banned off podcast at the moment. I'm arguing, but I don't see it go anywhere. So we might be heading over to Spreaker. This is the funny thing about it. I forgot to say this, Ben. It's the funny thing about it. We're banned from Anchor, which is where I upload the podcast to. But if we change over and go to Spreaker, they still get uploaded onto the Apple Podcast, which is what we've been banned from.
How does that? Well, do you know what?
Crazy, isn't it?
So we're eventually going to be back on Spotify anyway, no matter what happens.
Yeah. Well, this is what Spreaker gives us Spotify. So I'm going to move over to Spreaker. We're going to go on Spotify because I know you've had a lot of people. You said a lot of people asking about going on Spotify. I also want to get on Amazon Podcasts as well, which is very difficult, but we are going to try. So bear with us. I am making moves behind the scene. Me and Ben are making moves behind the scene. Don't forget as well, Patreon is locking to Ben's show on Sunday. I've got heads up. It's going to be a good one. So don't forget that. Okay. But we've got to get out of there because we've got to prepare for the main show over on Pulse Talk Radio. So from me, it's good night. And from Ben,
catch you in a minute.
Take it easy, Patreons. We'll see you in about 15 minutes. Take care.
Catch you on the flip side of the flat earth.
Yeah. Once we flip the flat coin. And just remember, Patreoners, if there's no other explanation, there's always the other dimension. See you later.